Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of the Knitter's Guide to Crochet. Today we're going to learn how to single crochet as a knitter learning how to crochet. So if you followed the part 1 of the video, you should have a knit chain right here and a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook, which you slip into that last stitch after you bound off your stitches. And I hold my crochet hook just like a knitting needle, and I hold my yarn in the other hand. So the first thing we're going to do is yarn over on the hook and pull this loop through this one with your crochet hook. You do this usually before every new row, because then we're going to turn our work. So it was facing this way, and now I'm going to turn it so the tail faces this way. Okay. So if you can wrap your mind around single crochet, you should know that single crochet is just like binding off in knitting. Do you know how to bind off when you knit? Then you're going to know how to single crochet. So think, what do you do when you bind off in knitting? You take a live stitch, you knit into that stitch, and then you bind it off by drawing it over, just like we did in this previous row. You then do the same to the next stitch and the next, and all the stitches on your needles until they're all bound off. We just did that step right here. The process is the same for single crochet. So the first thing you're going to do is go into your stitch, because these stitches are already bound off. So you're going to go into those two little loops that form the top of the bind off of the last row, and you're going to create a live stitch by yarning over on your hook and pulling it through those two loops you just went under. So there's your live stitch. Now you're going to knit into the stitch by yarning over again and pulling through one loop. There's your knit stitch. And then you're going to bind it off by drawing it through this loop again. So once again, these are the stitches on the top. So you're going to go into the stitch, because you have to create a live stitch. Yarn over on the hook and create your live stitch. Then you're going to knit into the stitch and then bind it off. Let me see if I can show you one more time, more up close. So right here, you can see the little parts that are the stitch that you go into, and you want to go underneath both parts. So both lips, these lips right here. And then you yarn over on your hook and create that live stitch. Yarn over on your hook, knit into that first stitch, and then bind it off. And if you can do that, then you're single crocheting. You should make 11 single crochets, one in each of those little bumps, and then you'll get into a motion that's just really fluid after you've done this for a while. So when you're done, you should have 11 more bumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The one attached to your hook doesn't count. If you want to do another row, you always chain one and turn before the next row of single crochet. And then you just do the very same thing. You create a live stitch, knit into the stitch, and bind it off. Create a live stitch, knit into the stitch, bind it off. Create a live stitch, knit into the stitch, and bind it off.